How would you feel if you knew you had 6 months to live? What would you do differently? Would you do anything differently? You see, that's the mindset that each and every single one of us should be having every day. And a lot of times, people take life for granted. A lot of times, we forget that we're not going to be here forever. As a Jehovah's Witness, right, growing up, when somebody would pass away, a lot of times I would see that witnesses, they don't take death seriously. Because in their minds, they say, oh, we'll just see that person in paradise. So you take your friends for granted. You take your family for granted because no matter what happens, you truly believe that you're going to see that individual again one day, right? But it's like when you wake up from this religion, you realize how short and precious life really is. It's a game changer. It was for me. It was for me. And I started to appreciate life. I started to appreciate every single day. And I told you guys I suffer with depression, right? It has gotten better over the years. But even on my darkest days, I still appreciate life to the fullest. I still appreciate life to the fullest because I know that tomorrow is not promised to any one of us, right? And you know that as a witness too, obviously. Witnesses know that also. However, when you realize that this religion is not the truth and that there's a possibility that this may be it. There's a possibility that this life could be the only life that we have. There might not be an afterlife. And that's hard for a lot of people to fathom. When I woke up from this cult, I was trying to encourage my Jehovah's Witness family and friends to do their research, right? And someone told me, they said, hold on, so you think that we just die? We just live for 70, 80 years and we die? Is that it, Jerron? Because they couldn't comprehend, they couldn't fathom that this is it, that this could be it. It's way easier to believe that there's a paradise right around the corner, even though they've been saying that for 150 years. People would rather believe in a lie because a lie, it's easy. It's more, it puts your mind at ease. Without that paradise hope, witnesses are lost. But as we know, when you do your research, it's no going back. You just have to accept it. You have to accept that this religion is not what it's cracked up to be. This religion is not the truth. It's just another man-made organization. And it's scary to even fathom that as a witness. It's scared to fathom. It's scared to comprehend that this is not the truth. I wasted and invested all this time in this organization, and you're telling me that this is not the truth? I gave in 20, 30, 40, 50 years? Nah, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. So when you tell a Jehovah's Witness that, instead of them using their critical thinking skills and thinking with reasoning and being logical and rational, right? You tell someone, I love you. I want you to do your research because this religion is not it. And that's for you to discover on your own. But I'm telling you, I did my research and this is not the truth. And I know you're going to think, oh, apostate, he's discouraging me he's discouraging me from making it to paradise. He doesn't believe that this is the truth anymore. He wants me to derail. He wants me, this is Satan. See, that's what happens with witnesses. The minute you say anything negative, they see you as a horrible person. Someone telling you to think critically is viewed as a horrible person. Does that make any sense? As a Jehovah's Witness, you're supposed to just blindly believe. How it doesn't matter how ridiculous it sounds, the instructions that's coming from the governing body leaders. It doesn't matter how ridiculous, how crazy. You're supposed to blindly believe. And the people who are telling you to think critically, we are viewed as evil, wicked, horrible apostates. Just by telling you to use your brain. You can't make this up. But you know what? It doesn't matter what you believe in. At the end of the day, millions now living will die. Now, lately there's been a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses commenting on my videos, which is good. And I always ask them, if you truly believe that you have the truth, why are you on my channel? Why are you commenting and watching my videos if you supposedly have the truth, right? And they come up with all these stupid, ridiculous answers, trying to defend themselves, but there's no way around it. I don't want to hear it. You know damn well, as a Jehovah's Witness, you're not supposed to be watching my videos, but yet here you are. So that automatically tells me that you're not, deep down inside, you can lie to yourself all you want, but deep down inside, you're miserable, you're unhappy, you're having doubts. Because like I've said before, if you're happy in a marriage, you're not going to go seeking elsewhere. You're not going to go looking for entertainment elsewhere if you're happy in a marriage. So likewise, if you're happy in a quote-unquote truth, if you're happy in the truth, clap your hands. But if you're happy in an organization, right? Then why are you watching X videos? Why do you even care what we have to say if you supposedly have the truth? That makes zero sense. So even Jehovah's Witnesses are having doubts subconsciously. The witnesses who are watching my videos are subconsciously having doubts, because you would not be seeking entertainment or information, anything elsewhere, if you was happy in your organization. Period. And you know what? Before you leave this planet, you have the right to discover the truth about your organization. Because at the end of the day, who wants to die believing in a lie? Not me. That's why when I did my research, I encouraged my family and friends to do their research as well, tried to wake them up, backfired. But I said, you know what? It's okay. If they don't want to discover the truth about the truth, that's on them. As for me, now that I know that paradise ain't coming, now that I know I'm going to die one day, I'm going to live my life as authentic as I possibly can. The first part of my life was fake. I was a fake individual. I was a fake person as a Jehovah's Witness. As a Jehovah's Witness, you are fake. You're not your true self. You're the cookie cutter individual that they want you to be. You have to think as a group. There's no individual thinking. There's no critical thinking. Wherever the governing body leaders say, you have to do as a Jehovah's Witness, right? So your entire identity is robbed. It's stolen from you. So I said, when I woke up from this religion, I said, oh shit, I don't know who I am. Even though I was inactive for quite a while, right? I was inactive for quite a while. I still had that witness mentality, because I thought, in the back of my mind, I thought it was the truth. So I wasn't my true self. I didn't know I did not know who I was when I left this cult. But I said, you know what? I'm gonna die one day. So let me start to discover who I am. Let me start to become my true, authentic self. That's why I'm the person that I am right now. Everybody who knows me, I'm extremely blunt, honest. I tell people how it is. I tell you how I feel about you. I'll tell people I care about you. I love you. You're my friend. I'm here for you. I say it and I show it because I'm gonna die one day, and I come from a fake organization. I come from a background where my roots are fake. So going forward, the rest of my life, I want to be nothing but real. I want to be nothing but authentic. Because I had the complete opposite growing up. But going back to the title of this video, millions now living will die. It doesn't matter what you believe in. You could be an atheist, you could be a Jehovah's Witness, Catholic, Latter-day Saints, Mormon, whatever. At the end of the day, 100 years from now, none of us are going to be here. And if that's the case, right? If we're all destined to die one day, wouldn't you want to live your life as true and authentic? And it's sad that Jehovah's Witnesses, they would rather, the one life that we have, they would rather keep their doubts. They would rather hold on to their true, all the questions that they have. You know how sad it is that most witnesses, they're going to die with those questions. They're going to die with those doubts. Because to them, keeping their community is more important than discovering the truth. No one wants to come to the conclusion that their entire life was a lie. I get that. But what's the alternative? You're just gonna keep doing this until you grow old and eventually die? And then when you die, then what? You die surrounded, you're gonna die being surrounded by a community of people who never truly love you. You see, now that I left that cult, I can honestly say that I have true, real friends in my life. And you can't put a price on that. I know that this is the one life that I have right here, right now. I don't, as far as the afterlife, the heaven and hell, who knows? We won't know until it happens. But as for right here, right now, the one life that I have, I'm not throwing that away. I said, you know what? Let my family, let my Jehovah's Witness family and friends shun me. So be it. If you need to shun me because I'm encouraging you to use your brain and do research instead of blindly believing something, then that's on you, buddy. But before I leave this earth, I'm being as real and true as I possibly can. And it starts with me. I got to be true to myself. Before I'm true and real with anybody else, I got to be true to myself. And when I did my research, I said, there's no way in hell I'm living that Pimo life. There's no way in hell I'm not going to not say nothing. I got to say something. I got to say something. The governing body leaders, they got my family, they got my JW family and friends captive. I got to do my best to free them. And if they don't want to hear it, then so be it. But I at least got to try, right? You got to at least try. If you were to see a friend getting attacked, right? You're going to just, oh, well, leave it in Jehovah's hands. I'll just sit back and relax. No. If you see a loved one getting mugged, attacked, whatever, you're going to intervene because you care about them. It's the same way with the organization, like my family and friends. They're captive mentally and emotionally. They're locked in chains mentally and emotionally. And that's why it's hard for people to fathom, for witnesses to fathom that this is not the truth, because they are emotionally attached. What do you mean this is not the truth? If this is not the truth, that means I'm not going to see my deceased loved ones anymore. So this has to be the truth. This has to be the truth. And it's sad that witnesses, they have this, it's a cycle, this never-ending cycle, where people continue to grow old and die, waiting for this pipe dream. And I gotta remind you, boys and girls, Millions now living will die. How you decide to live your life, well, that's your prerogative. But my thing is, if this is the one life that we have right here, right now, wouldn't you want to do thorough research, no matter what you believe in, right? No matter what you believe in, wouldn't you want to do thorough research instead of just saying, oh, I'll have faith in this. Oh, I'll just blindly believe. Because you could blindly believe, you could have all the faith in the world, but how are you going to feel in 50 years? Both of my brothers, my two younger brothers, they're both in their 30s, right? I wonder how they're going to feel in 50 years when they're in their 80s. Paradise still isn't here, and they have to look back in their life, at their life, and be like, damn, we was told that paradise was going to happen any day now. How are you going to feel when paradise doesn't happen in 50 years? How are you going to feel? Because at that point, death is around the corner. This is the one life we have, guys. That's why I travel as much as I possibly can. That's why I try to, befriend genuine people. Try to make real connections as much as I possibly can, because before we leave this earth, we don't know what's going to happen after we leave this earth. So while I'm here right now, right here, right now, I want to live my life to the fullest. And I encourage everybody else to do the same. This is it. And it's sad that Jehovah's Witnesses, like I said, they would rather keep their community than to do their research and discover the truth about this organization. So they're pretty much throwing their entire life away on a pipe dream that they can't even research. They can't even research their own religion. Millions now living will die. But you know what? Millions now living aren't even living. They're just existing until they grow old and die. Guys, this is my last day at this job. This is the last time you guys are gonna see this view. Well, sorry, I might make one more video. But this is the last time. This is the last day at my job, at this job. So enjoy this view. I love you guys. If you're a Jehovah's Witness watching this video, like I always say, I have nothing but love for you. All I want you to do is think critically. Because you don't think about death as a Jehovah's Witness. You think you're gonna live forever on the paradise earth. But what happens when paradise doesn't come and you grow old? You live to be in your 80s and 90s, and you look back and you realize you did nothing for yourself. You slaved your entire life for an organization. But what do you do for yourself? I love you guys. I'll see you guys on the next one.